Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning student, welcome back. If you are brand new, I'm so excited to have you here and I hope you enjoy this. So normally on this channel, what I do is I teach tips and tricks and tutorials around yoga to really help people feel like they're learning yoga and they can stay safe in yoga. In other words, teaching it for the tentative yogi, someone who might be a little hesitant, and I want you to know that you know what you're doing. Today we're going to do something a little differently. I'm beginning to explore doing more than just tips and tricks about the physical poses, but other things about yoga, maybe a little philosophy, etc. And today we're going to talk about grounding. So a couple of weeks ago, I shared a video on a foot massage tutorial that I share with my students. And I talked about grounding, and I received enough questions that I thought it might behoove me to talk about what grounding is with all of you to help you understand it, especially from the yogic perspective, because it is a really powerful tool for helping us relax. So to start this conversation, I really do need to talk about your chi, your prana, your life force energy. So if you're not familiar with what that is, here's your 2-cent tutorial. Your chi, your energy, your life force, think of it as the energy underneath your energy, okay? It is your essence. And it's visually, it's like a bubble around you, inside of you, all around you. And it's this free-flowing energy that keeps you healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It is why we do things like yoga, tai chi, qigong, acupressure, acupuncture, is to keep that flow going in your chi and your prana, because when it stops or when it gets stuck someplace, that's when illness occurs. And again, that illness could be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. And in fact, if it sticks, ultimately you will have an illness on all of those levels based on wherever your blockage is. Okay. In comes grounding. So what happens when we get stressed out, when we're feeling anxious, when we're worried, when we're in our heads? So we spend a lot of time thinking, which we all do most days, right? Our chi or our prana gets pushed up, and I always feel it's almost like toothpaste in a tube. You know, it gets squished up and it gets caught in our head. And I tell you what, sometimes you can notice this if you just stop and take a breath, especially when you've been stressed or worried or working on something, so you've been really focused in your head. You'll notice you'll be very aware of your head, but you won't really know much about the body. You won't feel the body, be aware of the body as much. And there's literally like this cutoff here. And what we do when we ground is we release that bubble, which is fantastic, because I think we've all experienced those times when you're laying in bed and you're like, I can't stop thinking. Or you wake up at 4 a.m. and you can't stop thinking. And when you feel that, it's because you have a prana bubble that we need to shift down into the body. And we do that through grounding. Now, there's a number of ways that you can ground. And in fact, you can Google, how do I ground? I mean, there are things like walking in the grass barefoot. That's called earthing. It's very, very grounding. Certain foods are grounding, like root vegetables are grounding to eat. People you hang out with, there's going to be certain people who are more grounded. And these are people who are very slow, more deliberate. And I mean slow, like in language, they're not in a rush. I'm thinking the opposite of me. My husband tends to be very grounding for me because he is the Tai Chi master. And I am the ADHD type A. So you can just imagine how grounding he is for me. What I like to do with my students, especially for moving into a calming class, is I will do this very specific grounding exercise that I'm going to take you through. So this helps them get out of their head, more into their body, and that also is calming, right? When you're feeling anxious and you're stuck in your head, but you come down and bring it into your body, it's going to help you feel calmer. So what you're going to do is bring your feet into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. It's okay if your knees are up here, it does not matter. And then I usually will use an essential oil that's very grounding, and I will actually link below to my favorite essential oils. The ones that I find are the most powerful. I've used lots. These are the ones that definitely have the biggest bang per drop. And Tree oils in general are very grounding. As you can imagine, they have a very deep root system. And there are also certain blends that the brand I have been blended specifically to help you ground. So I'll link below, and I'll actually share the ones that I really like and why, so you can pick and choose for yourself. So I'll have people put that on their feet. And when you go straight essential oil on your feet, then you can also do yoga afterwards, right? Your feet won't be slippery because it will evaporate and it won't be slippery, or absorb and evaporate. Then I have people hold their feet. You can go ahead and do this with me. And you're going to massage your feet symmetrically. So I did share a foot massage, as I mentioned earlier, video, and it's 1 foot at a time, and it really gets into relaxing, etc. That will be grounding as well. But when you do both at the same time symmetrically, it's more calming for the nervous system, and it helps that bubble not be asymmetrical, right, as it begins to release. So as you massage your feet, what happens is you become more aware of your feet, literally. Like, you know how I said when you have that bubble up here, you're more aware up here, and you're not as aware of your feet or your body. As you massage, that awareness comes down, and as the awareness comes down, the bubble comes down. So you're massaging your feet equally and breathing. And then just hold the feet. You're going to fold forward just a tiny bit, draw the chin in, close your eyes, soften your eyebrows in your forehead, and bring your awareness to your breath. And I want you to draw your breath deeper down into the belly. As deep down as you're comfortable going. I don't want you to force it. Just go as far as you're comfortable. So as you inhale, visualize that downward movement into the belly of your breath. And as you exhale, you're going to sink into your sit bones, letting your shoulder blades release away from the ears. Let's do a couple more. Inhaling deep down into the belly. Exhaling, sinking into the sit bones, shoulders releasing. And then relax. And just take a moment. Can you feel the difference? It's really powerful. So it's a good thing to do before you're doing your yoga class. I always encourage people, or your yoga practice, I always encourage people to ground before you begin, because that gets you into your body, which one, helps keep you safe on a really practical level, because the more connected you are to the body, the less likely you are to go too far. The second thing though is you get more out of your practice. So as you get into your body and you're less stuck in your head, you're also not thinking about, oh, I should be doing that, I should be doing this, I should be doing this. You're more, oh, that feels so good in my hamstrings. Oh, that feels so good in my shoulders. Oh, I need to move this shoulder over a little bit. I need to breathe a little bit more. See what I mean? You get more out of your practice. So I definitely recommend doing this grounding, even with a little of the essential oils. Essential oils will help you get more out of your practice by far. And then you'll also feel more relaxed. It's really all good. All right, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. It makes a big difference as I'm working on getting this out into the world and helping more people really learn yoga. If you want to be notified every time I release a new video, which is every week, then click on the subscribe and the bell for notifications. Thanks so much for joining me. Namaste.